There has never been a better time to join the packaging industry here as we end 2024 and go into 2025, and here's why. There is absolutely zero competition out there in the specialized packaging world. But if you think somebody is going to hire you for that, you're crazy. This video, I'm going to show you and teach you and explain to you why, once you get into the packaging industry, specialized packaging is where you need to put your focus. All too often in this space, in fact, everybody that I have, and I've been in this for 35 years, but what I am going to say is I have never seen an industry that is more stuck in mediocrity than the packaging business, the custom packaging business, mind you. Now, the issue is, custom boxes and custom labels and, printed brochures or whatever it may be, that's fine. But if you consider that custom, that's crazy. That to me is not custom. That's just commodity, a little bit more of a commodity package with a flair. And to me, when somebody wants to get into this industry, I encourage them, number one, first. But then I really emphasize they've got to do their own pushing and prodding and driving to get into niches or niches, get into these little value add things that they can do. We live in a world full of hot dogs in this space, meaning commodity packaging, plain Jane stuff. Buy it for a nickel, sell it for 6 cents. I mean, are you kidding me? Now, why I'm so passionate about this is number of reasons. Number one, the money in specialized packaging is 5 times what you can get in commodity stuff. Okay. And it's repeat business. It comes back over and over. I'm still getting reorders for companies I work with for 25 years because it's specialized. Specialized packaging means it's very difficult to knock it off. It's very difficult to go out there and find somebody else who will do it. And if you do this industry properly, not just supply the packaging, but supply the service and the support and the transparency and the partnership and the guidance and the direction and the supply chain. These are all those things that are absolutely perfect if you want to get into this business that you can focus on that will separate you from the rest of the pack. There's always going to be companies that'll race to the bottom. That's fine. That's not what we're in this for. Commodity packaging is great to race to the bottom. Go see who can be a penny cheaper. And I hope you make it up in volume because you're not going to make it up in margin. So, to look at getting into this space, first and foremost, get into it. Learn what you can from the powers that be in the company you're working for. I don't care whether you're working with a Piedmont or a Crown Packaging or a Veritiv or a Stephen Gould or anybody else that's out there. Join them, learn their training. Very few of them go beyond the basics. Most of them will basically, may drive around with you for a week and then kick you to the curb and you're on your own. Don't forget, you only get a draw. You're not getting a salary or whatever it may be. What I'm getting at is, definitely join the firm, definitely be a part of the team. Then you're going to have to, unless, which is sad, but unless something is different, which I doubt it, but you're going to have to learn on your own specialized packaging. What do I mean by specialized packaging? There's not a category for it. It's problem-solving packaging. It's issues and headaches that customers or potential customers are having. Specialized packaging can be anything from a film that runs on a particular type of equipment. It can be machinery and equipment itself. It can be paper and paper-based products. It can be biodegradable and eco-sensitive products. But there's got to be a pain. There's got to be something that we can add value to. Now, the cheaper it gets and the more it is just a commodity shop, that's not specialized, okay? We look for a number of things in the specialized packaging space. A, what are the current problems that they're having? Is there a quality issue? Is there a lead time issue or a timing issue? Is there a problem with customer service? We picked up more orders because existing suppliers don't answer their phones or don't respond to an email. Literally, an email saying, I want to place an order they're either too busy or that understaffed or whatever. And that is just pathetic. So to be able to kind of do something, and then once we know that there's a pain point, then once we know there's an issue, then we can begin to look at, okay, how are we going to structure this properly? Sadly, in the packaging space, reps today have been trained to just click a finger, go to this company and get your price and sell it. It doesn't work like that anymore. It doesn't. If you've got a Uline solution, that's not customized package. That's not specialized. Okay. What I'm talking about is there's a time, there's a process, there is a bigger picture here as we get into these projects. Number one, and some of them go pretty fast. Others of them, the more complicated, which makes it even more valuable to us, is something where we can really separate ourselves from the rest of the pack. When we're able to offer solutions and then be able to, or at least understand the opportunity, let's start there, then be able to find the suppliers that can do what they need. The better, when it's something like a quality issue, when it's something like a damage issue, whatever, that's perfect for us because we can solve that issue. Then when you tie in things like lead times and pricing and supply chain issues, all that stuff, that's where we really develop a true superior pitch to what they're currently using. Okay. So part of this is to be so good they cannot ignore us, to have such a profound opportunity or distinction between what we offer and what they are currently getting. You see where I'm saying? Then, of course, we go into how to make sure that whatever we do, now it's one thing to get the order, but the backside of this is just as important. How do you find the right suppliers? How do you inspect them and vet them? How do you ensure that you get what you want when and where you need it? How do you make sure and guarantee that maybe it's not on the first order, but the third order, there's a quality problem? You see, this is where a lot of people, a lot of today's reps just only think about the sale. They're not thinking about the long-term relationship with the factory, to be able to use and utilize the factory to get what we want to build our business even more. Let me explain. Oftentimes, if it's just a transaction where you work with a factory once and it's a nickel and you sell it for 10 cents or whatever it is, okay, that's great. But what if you could work with that factory where they become an opportunity, where you can use them to go to your existing customer and say, we would love it, or have you ever considered a blanket? And if you consider a blanket order, I can give you a 10% discount. But what that does for you is really enmeshes you with the factory, where the factory will actually run and hold this for you, not charge it. Then the factory will become your warehouse, further enmeshing you with your existing customer because they have the product already made. The customer now is, and this is just big picture here, where suddenly they're beginning to go, I can't live without this company. They're holding our product. What else can I give them to do this for other products? You see where I'm going? So it's little nuances on the front end, the sales, the back end, the purchasing side of things, and then to be able to marry it together with a timing and an efficiency. There's all kinds of little nuances to the specialized packaging space that all too often today's packaging reps do not understand. And sadly, your bosses and the owners of the companies don't understand. They're looking at the bottom line. They're looking to what's our margins? What am I making? What did I make this year? And that to me is a huge opportunity. Short-sighted, obvious to me, but it's also a huge opportunity for a packaging person to really kick ass and take names. Okay. So then once you sort of dabble in the specialized space, like I said, getting to know an opportunity, then be able to piece it together with the right suppliers. Then there are little nuances to this, like making samples and doing prototypes and doing test orders and doing trial orders and getting in there face to face and showing them something. And every time we do this, and this is another clue for packaging people, stop being in such a hurry. When we slow down and listen and are observant of what's going on, If we're dealing with a particular decision maker in their office, we'll look around their office. So we're seeing pictures or damaged products or broken cases or paperwork that's rejected or whatever it may be. Those are clues to what they're currently going through. Okay. Even the pictures at home, you can see. I mean, I can tell, when you see lots of loving pictures of a guy and his wife and his kids and his dog and his family, okay, that's a family guy. But if there's nothing and it's barren and there's just, this guy's a workaholic or this gal's a workaholic, different story. Anyhow, the big picture play here is when you get into the specialized packaging space, you're dealing with much higher margins, okay? Consistent, much higher margins. Then you get into being able to repeat this business over the years. Then you're able to really branch out into tiny little niches that you own. Let me explain. When I was in this space many years ago, there was a company that needed what was known as a batch inclusion bag. Now, what we found was in this space, there are very few companies that make batch inclusion bags. Domestically here in the States, but I went overseas and I went over and traveled and visited this company, and they were selling every automotive tire, truck tire company in the world their batch inclusion bags. They're used in the rubber business, I should have said, but that's not the point. What I'm getting at is once I found that opportunity and once I discovered that, I began to look online and see, is anybody else in this space? And if they are they dominant? Do they have what this company does? Can they do what this company does? Meaning printing and embossing and all these other kind of things. Value add. The point I'm getting at is when you find opportunities and then you find the right suppliers, it can be magic. You can then become that batch inclusion guy or gal and own the market, own the info online, own the inbound traffic, outbound traffic about the keywords, understand, the nuances and differences between all of this, and literally put yourself on the map to the millions of dollars, not tens of thousands, but millions. My point with this is, as a career, definitely consider the packaging space. As a job, definitely join the packaging space. As a career, get into specialized packaging. You'll make 5 times the money. You'll love what you're doing. You will enjoy what you're doing, and you will find your passion in this space because nobody else is doing it. I hope that was helpful. It was a bit of a rant, but specialized packaging is the core. Higher margins with specialized packaging, repeat business, true partnerships with customers that look at you as partner, as part of the family, as irreplaceable. And when you get there, it's magic. Thanks. Hi, everyone. It's David Marinak. I hope you enjoyed that episode. If you want to see more, here's another video that you can check out, and I hope you enjoy it. Thanks.